สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning Thailand and hello world. This is Voice of the Nation. We are run this program every Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Good morning, I'm Ping Pitapha and together with me are my co-hosts คุณ Nina Nirasha and คุณยอดวิทยาสวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับนิท่า
Hi
สวัสดี
everyone.
Hi คุณนีน่าคุณปิง
Yeah, Voice of the Nation brings you update and what's happening in Thailand. I hope you enjoy our program.
ครับคุณนีน่า
Oh,
yourself
yes.
Yeah,
Hello.
we can hear you now.
Okay. So we'd love to hear from you. So feedback and comments are welcome. Please let us know, and we'd love to make our program Voice of the Nation to be your favorite program.
Watching our previous episodes is easy. Please visit YouTube channel at The Nation Thailand. For our Facebook page, just search the words The Nation Thailand.
Very special today in our interview session. We will be with Dr. Naromchai Akharaseni, a former Minister of Commerce and Chairman of MFC Asset Management Public Company Limited with us on economic issues. Stay tuned.
But first, let's start our day, Wednesday, 26th of January 2022, with a quick update of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha visit to Saudi Arabia. So today, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs released its joint press statement of the visit of the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So briefly, the statement stated that at the invitation of His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Crown Prince and Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Defense of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency General Prayut Chan-o-cha, Prime Minister and Minister of Defense of the Kingdom of Thailand, paid an official visit to Saudi Arabia on 25th of January 2022. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia received the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand, and they held an official meeting during which they reaffirmed their mutual determination to resolve all pending issues between Thailand and Saudi Arabia and normalize relations between the two kingdoms. The two sides also stressed the importance of strengthening the two kingdoms' bond of friendship and the opening of a new chapter in the relation between Thailand and Saudi Arabia. The Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Thailand stressed that Thailand places utmost importance to the bond of friendship with Saudi Arabia and expressed his sincere regrets for the tragic cases that took place in Thailand between 1989 to 1990. He reaffirmed that Thailand had exerted utmost efforts to resolve the cases and that it stands ready to bring the cases to the consideration of the competent Thai authorities if new well-founded evidence relating to the cases should emerge. He also reaffirmed Thailand's commitment to providing appropriate security to members of the missions of the Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia in Bangkok in accordance with the 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. So both sides also reiterated their commitments to do their utmost to ensure the safety of each other's nationals in their respective countries. And the two sides exchanged views on various regional and international issues and discussed means and ways to strengthen their bilateral relations in all areas. They also agreed to increase interactions and coordination between their as well as private sectors in order to elevate their bilateral relations to new heights for the mutual benefits of the two kingdoms. However, there will be further updates when Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha returns from his trip today.
Mhm. So, and we have more update about Laxi, right?
That's right. So now let's move on to the national hot issues. The by-election is coming, right? Do you both live in Laxi district?
I live in Chatuchak district,
You live in Chatuchak district?
but my house registration is not here. So I cannot vote.
So I was going to say that if you live in around this area, so don't forget to go to your polling station on Sunday, as I have.
Okay.
But today I have different surveys on who are the front runners and who are behind.
Mhm. Okay, let's see.
So let's have a look at, with only few days to go for the by-election in Bangkok, constituency 9 political parties are going all out to woo the voters. So the by-election is being held. This is going to be held this Sunday, 30th of January, in Laxi district and part of Chatuchak district, which make up Bangkok's constituency 9. The by-election was scheduled after the Constitutional Court disqualified MP Sira Jenjakha of the ruling Palang Pracharat Party for convictions in a criminal fraud case before the 2019 general election. Let's have a look at the 8 candidates. So candidate number 1, who's Pantep Chatnarat of the Thai Pakdi Party. Number 2, Athawit Suwan Pakdi of Gla Party. Number 3, Surachat Tiantong of Pheu Thai Party. Number 4, Kunrat Gindi of National Strategy Party or Pak Yuthasat. Number 5, Rungrod Ibrahim of Thai Civilized Party. Number 6, Phet Karunpon Tiensuwan of Move Forward Party. And number 7, Saranrat Jenjakha of Palang Pracharat Party. Number 8, Charan Chai Sit of Thai Teachers Party or Pak Kru Thai Pheu Prachachon. And according to different surveys with the ruling Palang Pracharat Party, is unlikely to retain its House seat from Bangkok's constituency 9 when the by-election is held at the end of this month. The ruling party has filled with Sira's wife, who is Saranrat Jenjakha, in the by-election. They are hoping she can cash in on her husband's popularity and hold on to his House seat. However, internal opinion surveys carried out by election political parties fighting the by-election show that Saranrat has low chances of winning her husband's seat, as the surveys were carried out on eligible voters and on the popularity of the candidates in social media. The surveys among eligible voters show that Surachat Tiantong of the Pheu Thai Party and Athawit Suwarnapakdi of the Gla Party are the front runners. According to sources, the sources from the party say that in this survey, the Palang Pracharat candidate ranked fourth in popularity behind place Phet Karunpon Thiensuwan of the Move Forward Party. According to the sources, again, the survey on the candidates among social networkers show Phet Karunpon as the most popular, followed by Athawit, while Saranrat was the third.
Well, political observers believe the country economic woes, especially the rising cost of living and the internal rifts in the Palang Pracharat Party, has severely affected the popularity of its candidate. The observers also say that the changing demography of the constituency has made it a neck and neck race. Many more condominiums have been built in Laksi and Chatuchak districts, whose residents are in the 30 to 35 years age group. The water segment is believed to support the young Karunpon. Among the largest group of voters in the 35 to 60 years of age, Surachat and Athawit are fighting hard for support. Since the Democrat Party is not fielding a candidate in the by-election, about 14,000 voters who voted for the Democrat in the latest poll are seen as a political swing vote for the candidates in the fray. Analysts believe that Attawit has a better chance of winning over the 14,000 Democrat supporters because he has stayed in the Democrat before joining the GLA party led by former Finance Minister Kunkorn Jatikapanit. Attawit is also supported by canvassers who are former district councillors and who once supported Sakonti Patiyakun, the former Democrat MP from the constituency. His name Sakonti Patiyakun. A small group of aged voters are also believed to exercise their influence. This group is expected to support the Thai Pakdi Party, or in English, Loyalist Thais, which is fielding the lesser known Kun Pantep Chatnarat in the by-election. The Pheu Thai, the GLA, and the Palang Pracharat parties are trying to win support from this group as well. ครับคุณนีน่าครับ
And finally, there is also a group of anti-government voters. They are those who are fed up with the government's performance.
Fed up.
So all candidates except Saranrat are trying to win support from this group by attacking the Palang Pracharat and the government. So this Friday, all parties will hold a final major rally, and the number of people showing up could offer more hints on the election's outcome. The GLA party has announced that it would introduce a social media influencer of the party at the rally that could help the party to have an edge. While on Monday, 24th of January, Deputy Prime Minister and Palang Pracharat leader Prawit Wongsuwan helped Saranrat carried out a door-knocking campaign to boost her morale. The campaign, however, has only provided more ammunition for the opponents to attack the Palang Pracharat candidate, as Saranrat is seen as a high risk for contracting COVID-19, basically. Well, earlier, Digital Economy and Society Minister Chaywut Thanakhamanusorn said that the Palang Pracharat's by-election director, he is the Palang Pracharat's by-election director, had tested positive for the virus, and opponents have criticized Saranrat for not quarantining herself and risking new COVID-19 cluster. So political observers see that the situation as not boding well for the Palang Pracharat in the by-election.
Well, so on Sunday, gonna have a lot of things going on in the district, and we're gonna have Kun Ping there. Kun Ping, are you ready for Sunday? You need some sleep because it's gonna be late. maybe 9 or 10, right? Good being
Um, sorry again. The live.
on Sunday, right? That we're gonna
Yes.
have the live report
Yeah.
from the
So please
district.
stay tuned on Sunday. I think like we mentioned earlier that this re-election is going to be something for people who live
Something.
in Bangkok, that
Mhm.
which party going to win the people in Bangkok heart. So the
Mhm.
nation going to be there to report the like real
Mhm.
time live
Real
of
time live.
re-election result.
Okay. Let's stay tuned to our page and also the whole Nation group with the Nation TV off as well to
Mhm.
report live from the district. It's going to be big fun there. So we have to stay up to see what the result. Okay.
Mhm.
And another thing, the big movement in the business is this news. Finally, Akara Mine wins over the Thai government and can restart its gold mine business in Thailand, the largest gold mine in Thailand. On Monday, four licenses to operate at the Chatri, or known as Akara Mine, have been extended until December 29, 2031. The mine straddles the border between Phetchabun and Phichit provinces, some 350 kilometers north of Bangkok. The mine was closed in January 2016 by National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, in its exercise of Article 44 decree, which cited locals' complaints of pollution and environmental damage. The closure order triggered a battle with Akara parent company, that's called Kingsgate Consolidated of Australia, with an arbitration ruling due at the end of this month. However, with Thai set to pay over 25 billion baht in compensation if it loses the case, the government recently agreed to allow Akara to resume operations at the mine. From the Department of Primary Industries and Mines, or DPIM, under the Ministry of Industries, Kun Niran Ying Mahit Saranon, Director General, said that Akara Resources has been told to operate its business strictly in line with Thai laws and regulations. The company has also been instructed to hire residents living near the mining areas to generate revenue for local communities, he added. Kuniran also said. Also, Akara Resources Public Company Limited has been instructed to protect the environment and health of residents so it can coexist with local communities and society. He added that the concession extension was aimed to ensure that Thailand could produce enough of its own gold and silver, boosting the economy and quality of life amid the COVID-19 crisis. That's Thailand's largest gold mine licenses. What else we got,
Mm.
Good Ping?
Yeah, so let's talk about the doctor's state on and road safety in Thailand. So we talk about this news for a couple of days already about this
Right.
tragedy. A policeman who hit
Mm-hmm.
a doctor while she
Mm-hmm.
was on a zebra crossing tried to
Mm-hmm.
make up. Right now, this guy he tried to
Mm-hmm.
make up for his deed by entering monkhood. Monkhood is mean like he has to shave his
Mm-hmm.
hair, turning
Mm-hmm.
himself to be a monk,
Mm-hmm.
stay in the temple and praying. So this action right now is led to another controversy. So here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing, in Thailand, this is not a new thing in Thailand. People usually entering monkhood
Mm-hmm.
for someone who passed away, but it's quite weird for a policeman who hit someone die by accident. So after attending the funeral of Dr. Waralak Supawajirayakul in Bangkok วัดพระศรีมหาธาตุวรมหาวิหาร on Sunday, the policeman Noravit Buodok and his father, Sub-Lieutenant Nikom Buodok, were ordained as
Mm-hmm.
Buddhist monk on Monday. So both of them serve as monk at Wat Pariwat Rachasongkram in Bangkok Yanawa district. So the guy, Noravit, an officer with the Protection and Crowd Control Division, rammed his Ducati motorbike into Dr. Waralak while she was at the zebra crossing in front of Pumila Nakarin Kidney Institute Hospital on Payathai Road on Friday. So the victim, who was an ophthalmologist at Chulalongkorn University Faculty of Medicine, succumbed to her injuries soon after. So Chief of Protection and Crowd Control Division Honmat Nakarin Sukontawit, so the policeman's boss, said that he had spoken to Norawit earlier and he was deeply sorry for the accident. So Nakarin quote Norawit that Norwich said that he wanted to audition to make merit for Dr. Waralak, and that decision was entirely his own, with no influencer from his superior. Sorry. So Nakarin said the law allows suspect to ordain as monk, provided it is not being done to escape punishment, and the suspect has not killed his birth parents. But here's the thing. The National Office of Buddhism said on Tuesday that Norawit could not be ordained as a monk, as a Buddhist monk. The spokesman of the office, Sittha Moonhong, said the monk's law did not allow a criminal suspect in any case which has not yet been adjudicated, adjudicated to enter monkhood. So this guy already also said that his office has told to the chief of Sangha district where Norawit were ordained to tell the preceptor monk that ordered him to arrange for his departure from the monkhood. Norawit said he will leave monkhood on Wednesday. So the Sangha Council law states in section 14 of chapter 3 that mentor monks must not ordain criminal suspect. So it's kind of like a hot topic, because like
Right.
people quite surprised, like why policeman, law enforcement, the
Okay.
first thing
Let's
that he do is like turn to be monk.
turn to be Bang. So let's see what the netizens think about this. Netizens were divided on the issue on Tuesday. One side said a criminal suspect should not have been ordained, but many others felt that if he really felt remorse, he should be allowed to be ordained to make merit and atone for his actions. Following the tragic accident, the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration has painted traffic markings to slow down motorists ahead of the zebra crossing where
Mm.
Walalak was killed. The administration sent workers on Monday night to paint embossed white squares across 50 meters on both sides ahead of the zebra crossing. The embossed markings are aimed at alerting motorists to slow down. The workers also painted white squares on both sides of each of the three lanes ahead of the pedestrian crossing to create an illusion of the lanes becoming narrower. Wow.
Mm.
Under a tree near the spot where the doctor was killed, bouquets were placed to mourn the death of the 33 years old woman, the doctor. A statistic released by the Public Health Ministry shows that about 68% of road fatalities from 2016 to 2018 were pedestrians, or an average of about 800 to 1,000 pedestrians killed in road accidents each year during the period. The National Statistic Bureau also said about 2,500 to 2,900 pedestrians were involved in road accidents each year, and one third of them happened in Bangkok. People die in
Mhm.
Thailand road accidents every day, higher than the COVID-19 fatalities on most day, I believe now. So look at the ASEAN statistic. Thailand's roads rank ASEAN's most and the world ninth most fatal, according to the World Health Organization report in 2018, the one that we reported yesterday. So let's talk about this a little bit, Kun Ping and Kun Nina. We have some time here. So you think if someone did that, somebody to die, and he can go to be a monk and he can erase what he did or his wrongdoing. What do you think about this?
I think this guy, he ordained for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he actually feel guilty, if he actually feel guilt and he feel that he want to do something right, he's supposed to face the truth and put himself into the way of law. Like, right now he's supposed to like do as much as he can about the law, about the process of the law, not like stay in the temple. That's what I guess. But like I told you earlier, like this is not a new thing in Thailand that people usually do, but it's quite weird for a policeman, law enforcement to do this at this time. So, but another thing that I'm quite like surprised about what Bangkok did, like they paint the road, right, to fix this problem. For me, I don't think that's enough. I think like people supposed to understand about the zebra cross more, and they're supposed to put more camera on every single zebra crossing, because if we don't have the camera, the footage from the camera, we don't know how like this tragic, how this happened. Yeah, this kind of footage. That's what I talk about. So,
Okay.
Kunina, what do you think about that?
For me, as I said yesterday, I think that's for me, it's quite a shock to come to Thailand. And when I went on the zebra cross, none of the car would stop for me. So for me as a driver as well, when I drive, I tend to slow down when I'm actually approaching the zebra cross. That's how I was taught. When that's how I was taught when I was applying for my driving license in overseas. That's how I was taught. So I always slow down. But then one of the questions that I have is, when you drive and you have two lanes together, if someone is crossing here, right? You see it. If one is slowing down, another one go there. That's no point.
Right.
That's no point. So sometimes I decide that I look at my rear window first. If there's no one, I will slow down. And if there isn't, I would slowly pass and don't let another person cross, because there's no point if this lane is actually driving fast. In either way, I slow down, it's going to cause accident anyway, because my car would block the other person. So the other car wouldn't see the other person.
Well, I see. So when people come to Thailand for tourists, let me tell you this: zebra crossing in Thailand is not like your country.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and actually not just zebra crossing, it's how Thailand, like how we drive in Thailand.
I see.
Right? We have speed limits, but people don't understand what is speed limits, and people don't understand what's the purpose of zebra cross. So this is how road accident. There's a lot of road accident in Thailand. Like few weeks ago, I went with my friends from UK. We had a quite nice lunch and cafe while we're driving on the road. My friend was like, "Wow, Nina, how can you drive in this so busy city and like motorcycles, everything? They have cars, they live in Nonthaburi, but they don't drive. They take Grab to come and meet me in Bangkok."
Right. So Kunina got another news for us. It's about economics situation in Thailand. Let's start with Kunina with this report. Okay.
Yes, so I would like to update about the economic situation in Thailand. So let's move to this issue. As calls have been made for the government to cut fuel tax to keep the diesel price below 30 baht, so that transportation costs will not be affected. But the finance ministry insisted that it will not cut fuel tax because the cut would be the government's last measure in maintaining fuel prices. Oh gosh. So earlier on Monday, the Energy Policy and Planning Office had proposed that the fuel tax be cut to reduce pressure on the oil fund. However, Finance Minister Akom Termpithiyapaisit said that the ministry will monitor the global price of oil, especially the Dubai price, to see if it rises to a point where it is unbearable. He said that the government will cut fuel tax when the global price hit $100 per barrel, and he expects that the price of oil to drop after winter as the US will start using up its oil stocks once the price of oil rises. While in the Middle East, countries were planning to boost the productions of oil last week, but failed to do so due to the technical issues. So according to him, he said that the government will use the oil funds mechanisms to maintain the price of fuel in the country. And he also confirmed that the oil fund has plenty of liquidity as it has 10 billion baht in circulation. And the government has loaned another 20 billion baht to maintain fuel prices.
I see.
I also have another news. Let's have a look at the other ปัจจัย4ค่ะ Do you know what is ปัจจัย4ครับคุณย่อ
ปัจจัย4 should be like what for requisites like clothing, food, shelter, and medicine. And may I add another one is chicken. So if you fear chicken meat prices will follow those of its friend pork, you can feel relief now that the deputy government spokeswoman, Kun Rachada Thanadirek, said the cabinet will add chicken meat to this year's list of 5 price control goods. Kun Rachada said it was necessary to control the price of chicken as it's an important source of protein. And so far, the Commerce Ministry has built a list of 56 price control items and services, including chicken, egg, pork, shampoo, detergent, rice, garlic, instant food, school uniform, and medical treatment. As part of the price control action, the Central Commission on Prices of Goods and Services has set up the following measures for entrepreneurs, retailers, and poultry farmers. Let's have a look what the measures are. First, farmers who have more than 100,000 chickens and slaughterhouse operators that have a production capacity of over 4,000 chickens per day must inform the relevant authority of stock volume, production cost, and also retail price every month. Okay. Second, factories producing animal feed must provide information on stock volume, retail price, production capacity, and cost every month. Okay. Third, businesses, retailers, and poultry farm operators must receive approval from the Department of Internal Trade before increasing retail prices. She added that the Swine Racer Association of Thailand has announced that it will maintain the price of live pigs at 110 baht per kilogram until after Chinese New Year Day. For this year, it falls on February the 1st. And the Association of Hen, Egg Farmers, Traders, and Exporters has agreed to maintain the price of number 3 eggs at 2.90 baht. There is no doubt that everything will increase in prices. So I wonder why and what has happened to Thailand after the new year. Let's find out together in our live interviews coming up next. ครับ
Welcome back to Voice of the Nation today. On our interview today, please welcome Dr. Narongchai Akharaseni, Chairman of MFC Asset Management Public Company Limited, and also former Minister of Commerce, who will discuss about the แพงทั้งแผ่นดิน issues of the rising cost of living. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ Good morning
Good
to all
morning.
you and listeners.
สวัสดีครับ
How are you this morning?
I'm fine. I just had my breakfast. I'm feeling good. Thank you.
But you will coming to us because of our program is called Voice of the Nation. So you're coming as just a voice.
Well, I like your program, so please, I'm happy to be here.
Well, first of all, thank you for being here. So basically, we would like to know that, after the new year, after the comeback of the new year, a lot of things have increased their price. First start with pork, and then price, and then duck, and then recently palm oil, and hopefully not the chicken. So I would like to ask you, can the rising cost of living be controlled this year?
Sorry to say, the
Everything, yes.
answer is no. The
No.
answer is no. Actually, there's a sign of cost of living increase from way back last year. From about the middle or the third quarter of last year. And actually, I gave the warning to the government private. I told them to face the situation. The reason was because of the cost of energy, the cost of oil, the price of oil increased. If you recall, the price of oil went up to as high as $85 per barrel. I think about September last year. And since then, it's been staying 80, 90, and we could expect it to reach maybe 100, maybe this year. And energy is the whole reason for this price increase. Plus the increase in the cost of raw materials, commodities, particularly non-food commodities last year, price increase, plus transportation costs disrupted by COVID, so COVID has to do with that. So it was inevitable that the prices of, end product, final product, consumer product will increase this year. And when I heard your report about the action being taken, I was laughing because it's the same way that every time when something like this happened, people would come up with price control. But in the case of Thailand, price control never worked. Never. We can only manage prices. And the reason it doesn't work because in Thailand, our economy, is the market forces are very strong. Market forces are very strong. We have a majority of the people are both consumer and producers. So we have in the labor force almost 40 million people, meaning the people at the age of 15 to 60. 25 million are self-employed. So when they are self-employed, they are both consumer and producers. And therefore, when you ask for price control, like for example, you ask for price control for meals that you go and eat in market, in the restaurants, you hurt them also. They are. So price control actually is come mainly from public demand. Actually, public demand for both price control and not price control. But the media always like to report on the public demand on price control. And therefore, politicians will react to this demand. I was Minister of Commerce before, and I could confirm this. So we could only manage, price control in a situation like this because cost increase is the basic reason. Cost increase. And, market forces, like for example, this control on chicken, it's nonsense. Because chicken life cycle is only 3 months. And if price of chicken goes up, supply of chicken will come out so much that the price will not stay as high. Therefore, I can only say that in Thailand, we can manage price increase, but we cannot control prices. We can manage it to make it more livable, more acceptable, more tolerable to the people. So that's my view.
And according to you, what would be a more sustained solutions on this?
Well, when we have situation like this, and being market economy, things determined by market forces, we should reinforce market forces. Like for example, the proposal from people, from professors at Kasetsart University, that we should allow import. Temporarily, situation like this, we should allow import, meaning we reinforce market forces. And also for animal feed. You may know that we control import of basic animal feed, like soybean for soybean growers in Thailand, like maize for corn grower in Thailand. So if we ease this control, it means that we reinforce market forces. So when we reinforce market forces would work to the point that price increase will be minimum. There would be some price adjustment because of the basic cost of oil, materials, But if we enforce the market forces, situation will be much better. Pork is something you may want to talk about pork later, but pork has a much longer life cycle. It has a different story.
So if we adopt the measures to import more like animal feed, is there any aftermath or the effect of these imports, or it could be like a short while that we import for like 3 months?
Yes, we can go back again. Of course, we have to think of the soybean farmers. We have to think of maize farmers. But for situation like this, we should use market forces, reinforce market forces. That's my principle, and it definitely works.
And this also the step in the when you are commerce minister in the old
Yes.
days that we solve this similar problem, and also we have to subsidize the agriculture, the farmers.
And in 1997, I was the one who lifted price control on bottled water. We used to control bottled water, price of bottled water. It's unbelievable. At that time, people could only have access to non-transparent bottled water because we control the transparent bottled water. Plastic side, plastic couldn't. After the price control, all bottled waters come out. That's how Thai economy works.
So this government should do the same, but now I think because of the psychological effect, right, that we have to control the price now.
Psychological. We should make this announcement, this and that, but we should reinforce market forces. That's my principle. And of course, in the case of, I use the word managing increase. In the case of energy, we should manage increase, and we have this we call the oil fund. When I became Minister of Commerce, Minister of Energy, in this Prayut One government, that was in 2014. The oil fund was minus 20 billion.
Yes.
When I left, the oil fund was 40 billion plus. Now we are using that oil fund, to minimize the increase in price of oil. Now it's going back to negative again. But that's the way it should be. We use the oil fund to slow down the increase. And when the price is low, we collect the oil fund to increase the amount of money to be used in difficult time. And luckily, we have a very good energy sector. The oil sector is very efficient. The power, the electricity sector is also very efficient.
You mean now or in the past?
Sorry?
You mean now or in the past?
It has been. Luckily, in the case of our energy sector, we may be one of the best in ASEAN. Because we use world price. We use world price for raw material. We use world price for finished products. We rely on imported energy. So when we rely on imported energy, we have to use world prices. And it has worked very well. To the envy of all, in ASEAN countries.
Let's see.
So in overall, what do you think about Thailand's economic position in ASEAN?
You don't want to talk about what happened in the past. You asked me if I would want to refer to something in the past. A situation like this, like the inflation or cost of living rising because of oil. We had two experiences in the past. The first one was in the first oil shock. That was in 1973. That was almost 50 years ago. That was under Sanya government. I was the economic team of Sanya government. The price of oil at that time increased from $3 to $12. That was the first one. So we managed it. We managed it by allowing price increase to go up a little bit here and there and so on, and continuously to manage. Second one was in 1979, 1980. That was disaster. Krieng Sak as prime minister had to leave the office, and Kun Prem became prime minister. Again, at that time we managed the price increase pretty well. And fortunately, we we discover natural gas in the Gulf of Thailand.
Mhm.
So we could utilize, natural gas for power production, for electricity production, for the first time. Oh, so much trouble, during that time. The food price increased a lot.
Right.
Increased, and there's the opposite story at that time. The food price increase was due to the price of rice. So we control export of rice. We did not export of rice temporarily. And therefore, this time, if we don't have enough pork, we should not control import of pork. It's a similar situation.
Actually, you think this situation now is much? It look like it's easier than in the past. That the government should have
For
done.
energy management, yes, and
Uh-huh.
also for food, because market forces are now working much better than before internationally.
Right.
Much better than before. So we have to rely on market forces. If domestic market force is not enough, we use international market forces.
Do you still remember when that time that we found the natural gas that we call ชดช่วงชัชวาล
That's right.
period, right? That is still a kid, and then I wonder how much we pay for ข้าวแกง, right?
25 baht.
25?
Was
Right?
it? I forgot.
I think maybe 20 25. Now it's 50 to 60, so like 100 times higher. And,
yes,
right. Please continue.
If I were to just to make comparison, again, another factor we use for situation like this, we should look at the minimum wage.
Yes,
Right.
that's right.
Take for example, in 1973-74, we use minimum wage. We adjust minimum wage. We increase minimum wage to 20 baht. 20 baht.
Oh, right.
Now
there's a call for minimum wage to high
minimum
to
wage now
high
is about
to
300 baht, 310, 330, 350. So if you compare the price of oil at that time, the price of oil at that time, and $12, and today is maybe 100. That's about what 10 times or no
10
less
time.
less than 10, less than 10 times. But the minimum wage increased more than 15 times.
I see.
But Dr. Narongchai, even if it's increased, however, a lot of Thais are still, let's say, wondering if it could increase more because comparing to the price of living, it makes a lot of labor forces cannot live like เดือนชนเดือน month by month.
I agree with you. I get that. I think also it's partly because of COVID, partly because of our ability to make money, to make an earning, to increase earning is limited. I agree with you. But first, I like to say that we have to face the situation of higher cost of living because of the cost of energy, because of the demand about this climate change. The basic reason for the increase in energy price is because we have this global warming. So demand is the net zero carbon. And that means that we have to rely on non-fossil fuel, like coal, like even oil and so on. So the production of energy, the production of power would be higher. This is a premium. We have to pay for better climate. So we have to be more efficient, in what we do in order to live in this so-called net zero world. And you young people, you demand this much more than our generation.
Yes.
Which is understandable. The world temperature at the moment is dangerous. And therefore, we need to achieve the so-called net zero as said in the COP26 conference. That there is a premium to pay for better climate. We have to face that fact of life.
But do you think how long Thailand will reach at that point?
Well, we cannot achieve what we promised at Glasgow, but we have to go along. We have to go along, and there will be demand from others for us, to use less and less of fossil, to comply to this demand, including our export to developed countries.
Yeah.
That is the fact of life again, that we have to be very serious about this carbon emission.
Mm.
I don't think we can meet what we promised, but I think we are all trying.
Okay, so last, would you like to share your views about the current government?
Well, I think
or the management.
I think you asked me earlier about how we're doing comparing with ASEAN countries before criticizing
And
government.
other views, it's not a bombshell. It's other views.
Or
No.
what should they manage?
No, I think before talking about the government, I like to respond to your question about how we're doing among the ASEAN countries. I think this is relevant. The question is relevant. When we compare, with ASEAN, there are so many aspects that you like to compare, that I like to compare. One thing, number one priority, of course, is COVID. How are we doing in terms of COVID? I think we may be number one in terms of managing COVID situation. That might not be the case last year, but today I think we be becoming number one again, or top country in terms of managing COVID, because of our healthcare system. Now we are using our healthcare system fully. We are using this universal healthcare. We are using theหมอชาวบ้านหมอชนบท and so on. This is working very well. So in terms of managing COVID, I think we are top. Now, in terms of recovery, we have trouble because our economy relies so much on tourism.
Yeah.
I think this is well known. Among all the ASEAN countries, we are number one in terms of being dependent on tourism. So in order for us to recover, we have to bring the tourism back. And I think this government was ambitious, optimistic. Last year, they introduced that. This stop and go, the sandboxing and things like that, because of the tourism. But because of COVID still on with us, so it would not be, it's still not happening as much as we would like to see, as I would like. So recovery for us among all the ASEAN countries, maybe not the top, maybe middle, or could be at the bottom. If you look at forecasts by all institutions, Thai economic recovery will be relative. So compared with ASEAN countries, until we bring back this tourism. And I think you recall, I think you remember, or you realize that this APEC Thailand 2022, we focus a lot of getting traveling to come back, getting travelers to come to Thailand.
Right.
That is the reason. So if we could achieve this, but we cannot do it by ourselves, not alone, we cannot, because of the protocol. Because if we open, if the others are not open, if they come and they cannot go back, like Hong Kong, if they come from Hong Kong, they cannot go back to Hong Kong because of the quarantine of 21 days and all this. So, working on this recovery, relying on tourism for us is very difficult, but we have very little or other choice for short term. Long term, we can do other things, but short term, we have to fight very hard.
Okay, well, for today, thank you very much, for joining our programs.
Okay, welcome.
And pardon?
No, I asked anything else you want me to say?
We love to hear more.
I would love to invite you for maybe another week on the other matters.
Okay, willing to do that.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. ณรงค์
ขอบคุณครับ
ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
ครับ
Well, let me take you guys and audiences to Malaysia. So let's go together. Welcome back. This is the most spectacular lion dance I've seen. It's very unique because it is performed underwater. So here,
Let's
the
see.
footage coming
Have a
in.
look.
Let's take a look together.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So yeah, Chinese New Year is coming, so every places have something to celebrate right now, as well as this aquarium also. So this is the lion dance with fish and turtles swimming around them. Diver perform an underwater lion dance in Malaysia aquarium on Friday. It is fresh take on the traditional new Chinese New Year performance. Two people in a multicolored lion suit perform in one of the tank at aquarium in Kuala Lumpur as musicians play cymbals and drums outside. So turtles and colorful fish glided past the lion as the lumbered around in front of the rock formation. So Aquaria Executive Director Dylan Fong told reporters the underwater lion dance in the aquarium is something unique. The undertake the tricky task, the diver got special training and used suits that are light enough for them to perform while underwater. A career has put on the underwater dance several times in recent years. Lion dancers Lion dance are traditionally performed in China and among ethnic Chinese community all around the world to mark the Lunar New Year, which fall at the start of February this year. In the traditional art form, two or more performers put on a colorful hat and cloak and try to mimic a lion movement accompanied by music. So yeah, they have to move like a lion underwater. So some believe that the dance can help ward off evil spirits and bring good luck. About a quarter of 32 million inhabitants in Muslim majority Malaysia are ethnic Chinese.
I see. So we have the sea lions now. Is it the real turtle?
Yeah, a real turtle and real fish, but not
Thank
real
you ครับ
lion though.
โอเค
It's so serene.
อืม
So, and that's a wraps up our Voice of the Nation morning news update for today. I hope you enjoy our live program.
And stay tuned with us with the latest news and information from Thailand's premier English language news source connecting Thailand to the world every Monday to Friday, 8 to 9 a.m.
Live streaming to our website, nationthailand.com, Facebook, and other social media platforms. Don't forget to click like and share for us. I'm Vitaya Sangarun.
And I am Nina Nirasham Malisak.
And me, Ping Pitapha Siripipa. See you tomorrow and have a great day.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Bye bye.